What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Two-Time, bringing y'all another two-time mosh pit. I know it's been a while, dog. I just been busy with my kid, with school, and I haven't really been focusing on my podcast. But now, as football season's coming to an end, and the off season's coming to an end, or about to start up, not coming to an end, but about to start up, and we're heading into championship weekend, I feel like it's only time that I start bringing out my personal opinions and my views on what is going on. Wait, what? Is this person Johnny? I'm confused. Okay, my fault. I'm playing Chainsaw in the background, so it's like y'all just not sitting here watching me talk the whole time. But with championship weekend coming up, rivalry weekend in football coming up, with the playoffs coming up in the NFL, and all the controversy that is built, I feel like it's only time that I address some of the, what's coming up in the future. And I broke it out into sections, and today I'm going to talk about the hip tackle and the college football playoff, the championships, and who I think is going to win that big Ohio State-Michigan game. And before we even get started, bro, hit that sub button, hit that like button, bro. Let's start taking off with this. So let's start with the controversy of the hip tackle. If you don't know what the hip tackle is, a hip tackle is when a player is running, the offensive player has the ball, they're running, and the defensive player is doing everything they can to bring the player down, which means grabbing them by their hips and dropping the full body weight down on them. Now, I'm going to tell you why everybody thinks that even though it sounds like a normal tackle, I'm going to tell you why everybody thinks that they should ban it. So, I played football from the time I was 4 years old until I was a senior in high school. Now, I wouldn't say, I never played college, never played NFL, but that's a long time of football, you know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't say I was a dirty player, but I was a headhunter. I believed in using my helmet, using my head to make a loud football hit. To get everybody going, I'm going to put my body on the line, and they're going through it as tackle. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like probably around sophomore, junior year is when they really started enforcing the rules of protect the players. When I was coming up, when a player came across the middle and somebody got hit in their head, like a headhunter, everybody went crazy no matter what. There was no flag, nothing. It was only in the NFL at the time. In high school, they wasn't calling that. I'm pretty sure they call it now in high school because of everything with the concussions and CTE going on. But when I was in high school, when you took somebody's helmet off, you got congratulated. So then my senior year, I remember I had this big crackback block, and that was the first time I ever got flagged for illegally using my head and my body to take another player out. So let me not get off topic. Let me get back to the hip tackle. So basically, I played defense my whole life. And my thing is, I'm not trying to lose a game. I'm doing anything I can to bring a player down, no matter what. I don't care if it's headhunting. I don't care if it's grabbing a player. That player is coming on the ground, and I'm not letting them score a touchdown on me. So here's the problem with people think that hip tackle is illegal. If the player, let's say a 6'3", 250-pound or 240-pound ball carrier has the ball, and let's say there's, I don't know, anybody on defense, and he's running the other way with the ball, and he's about to score, he's trying to score a touchdown. The player grabs the offensive player by the hip, and then he's trying to bring him down, and he drops his full body weight on him, and he brings him down that way. It doesn't sound illegal, but there's been a lot of unfortunate injuries that happened to this tackle. For example, Mark Andrews broke his ankle a few weeks on Thursday Night Football, and he's out for the season. Same thing with Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis broke his ankle, or broke his leg, and it's unfortunate, and now people are saying, ban the hip tackle. Now, here's what I'm going to say this. Florida State, I feel for you, because he broke his leg in a game that did not matter, and they're about to play against Louisville in the ACC championship game, and they're ranked 5th in the nation. But when he got hurt, they was ranked 4th. But now that they know that his leg is broken, they don't feel the need to rank him that high. So Florida State feels like they've been robbed from a chance at a championship. I'm going to just say this. I don't think it's illegal at all. I don't think you should ban the tackle at all. Because people don't know what it's like to be out there and trying to grab somebody down. They're running and using full force. It's like the same thing with the quarterbacks in the pocket, for example. You can't hit a quarterback below the legs anymore. You can't hit him high anymore. and you can't even drop your full body weight on him anymore. So they're taking away the sack. That's why you see so many broken sacks now, because you can't tackle him like normal. You can't tackle him like a regular ball carrier. As okay, it's whatever, because like I understand the quarterback, got to protect them. It's an offensive game. Everybody wants to see 42, 56 games and stuff, and that's a true football to everybody. But to a fan like me, that's not a good football game. A great football game is 21-14, 10-7, 20 or like 17-10. That's a good football game because there's defense involved. People want to see 56-42 and they want to see high scoring offense. So they're trying to take away the ability of defensive players trying to do what they do, which includes tackling. I get that. But at the end of the day, you got to let players play, bro. Players have to find a way to get the ball carried to the ground. You already taken away you're already taking away head hunting, which is great because now there's no more concussions. I also love the game of football, but you're taking away sacking the quarterback. You're bringing in all these rules, and the hip tackle to me is probably one of the most secure tackles because like how else can I bring a guy down? I can't grab him by his horse collar because if you grab him by his horse collar, you can tear somebody's ACL. If I hit him low and break his leg, y'all gonna call me dirty. If I hit him high, y'all gonna call me dirty. So I was like, I'm trying to grab him by his waist. I'm doing everything I can to bring the guy down, and y'all still trying to find a way for these offensive players to find a way to score touchdowns. I don't agree with that. To me, honestly, I think the hip tackle and the controversy is all stupid in my eyes, and I feel like they should just let it be and just let the game be. And it's a risky sport. Football players know what they get into when they sign up to play this game. It's risky. And if you don't like that, go play fucking basketball. Excuse my language. Go play something else. You don't have to play football. So this is my piece on that. Now, let's talk about rivalry weekend in college football, and let's talk about the playoff prediction and championship weekend prediction. Let's start off with the game of the week, Ohio State versus Michigan. Now, Ohio State's ranked 2 in the nation, Michigan's ranked 3 in the nation. A lot of people feel like Ohio State can bring this game off. I'm here to tell you, the last 2 years that I've rooted for Ohio State, they got blown out the water. Blown out the water. And here's where I made the mistake too. Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah. Get her. You gotta get her. No, you ain't going nowhere. Oh, yeah. No, I'm going. Hold on. I didn't lose topic, but he got her. Okay. Oh, here's another one. So Ohio State versus Michigan. The last 2 years, I picked Ohio State. Why? Because I feel like they had C.J. Stroud, and they had Marvin Harrison. They had Julian Fleming. They had Ime Udoka. So it's like they had all the targets, they had all the weapons. But here's the thing. Even though Michigan doesn't have that star-studded team like Ohio State does, like I understand Michigan's doesn't have the big names popping. They have J.J. McCarthy. They have Blake Corum. They have Johnson. Like they have Will Johnson. Like they have stars, but it's not Ohio State. Like Ohio State with the red, the scarlet red and the gray, it's not them. So intentionally going to that game, I'm thinking, hey, Ohio State has beaten the hell out of Michigan every year. Justin Fields has outplayed Michigan and hasn't lost a Big Ten game in 2 years. I'm going with Ohio State. Here's the problem with that. Michigan has a different type of style. So here's how Michigan plays. And I think that this is why I feel like overall, I feel like Michigan isn't prepared to win the whole championship, but they treat Ohio State as a championship game. What is Ohio State really good at doing? They're good at stopping the pass. Great edge rushers, great coverage linebackers, great coverage DBs. What they can't do is stop the run. And that's what Michigan has been able to do all along. Jim Harbaugh recruited running backs and a great offensive line. And what does he do? He pounds the ball. Pause. And what I mean by that is this. You have the best college backfield in the nation. Johnson and Corum. They're both going to be star running backs, and they're both going to go in the top 2 rounds of the NFL draft. They have probably the best offensive line in college football. Ohio State has to be one of the worst run defenses I've ever seen, dog. And I'm not even lying to you, bro. And what do they do the last 2 years? Because the year before, I thought, okay, it's a fluke. Like, okay, you knocked off Ohio State the first year C.J. Stroud was there. Okay, that's a fluke. Let's see them do it again. I don't think they do it again because this is like, you see what I'm saying? And it did it again. And then Michigan returns all their players back, and CJ Stroud goes to the NFL. And everybody says, hey, Sai, I feel like I'm going to roll with Ohio State this year. I'm saying, bro, I wouldn't do that because they're bringing back they brought back the best backfield. They got the best line. And I think they win that game purely because of that. And a lot of people like J.J. McCarthy. I don't. A lot of people think J.J. McCarthy is a first-round quarterback or a second-round quarterback. I don't. I see him as a fifth-round quarterback at best. The only reason why I feel like J.J. McCarthy gets the name that he is and why he's so popular is because he plays on the number 3 team in the nation with Harbaugh as his coach. And he has the best backfield in the country and the best O-line in the country. That man is not a pure quarterback. He's not a pure pocket passer. He's a pure athletic quarterback. That's all he is, dog. That's all he is. He has no, I don't see the arm strength. I don't see the arm talent. I don't see none of that. He just plays with the best O-line and best running back in the country. So it's easier for you to throw 300 yards, 200 yards when you have the best backfield and you're playing against teams like Maryland and Purdue. I'm not saying they conference because that's obviously the conference, but if you go and look at their schedule, you can't name a top team that they played. This is their first true test. And I think that they're going to win because I don't think Ohio State can stop the run. I feel like Harbaugh and Michigan knows that. They recruited specifically to stop to run the football because they know Ohio State can't stop the run. Here's where Michigan can't win big games, though. You can't run the ball 30, 40 times on a Georgia D line. Other teams are built to stop the run. Just because Ohio State can't stop the run, other teams are built to stop the run. And when you force J.J. McCarthy to beat you passing the ball, you're not going to win the game because that's not what he's good at. And that's my opinion with J.J. If you can't pass in college, how are you going to pass in the hardest sport of the game? The hardest position with the game faster, more developed and stuff. How are you going to be able to do that? And you can't even do that in college. You see what I'm saying? All the stuff that we say in the NFL where it's in the NFL, let the quarterback hand the ball up and then let him feed off the play action, yada, yada, yada. You can't be like that in college because you're not going to succeed like that in the NFL. Because if you're like that in college, there's no way that works for you in the league. You see what I'm saying? But I have Ohio State losing tomorrow or on Saturday. Actually, today is Friday, so this is Black Friday. I'm dropping this on Black Friday, so tomorrow. So what does that mean for Ohio State? Why do you think that Ohio State going to lose and stuff? Where does that lead them? Honestly, I don't know if I see any of the teams going back to the Final Four again, back to back. Because last year, don't forget, when Ohio State lost, they dropped to 4, and they ended up playing Georgia, and they had a way better game against Georgia. And a lot of people are going to say, how did they get blown out by Michigan, but they played so good against Georgia? Because Georgia was trying to throw the ball, and Ohio State got DBs for that. You see what I'm saying? They didn't Georgia's run game last year wasn't as good as it was in previous years. They didn't have James, last year they didn't have James Cook and Sonny Michel and Nick Chubb and who's the running back for the Raiders? Zeus. They didn't have those guys. So, they had to accustom to passing the ball more, and that's how Ohio State was able to stay in the game because, hey, we got the pass rush, we got the DBs for the passing game, but we just can't stop the run. So, how I think this is going to play out is like this. If Ohio State beats Michigan tomorrow, Michigan isn't going to the Final Four. But if Michigan beats Ohio State, there's a chance that they stay. And they might have both teams in it, which is I think what's going to happen because I don't see Ohio State beating Michigan. I just don't. Because I haven't seen them being able to stop the run, and I don't see them stopping the best running back duo in the nation. But if it does happen, Michigan will get kicked out the Final Four. And where does that leave for everybody else? So here's how I think the Final Four is going to go. I think Bama is going to lose to Georgia, which sucks, but it's going to be a great game next Saturday. That's going to be a great game. But I think Bama loses to Georgia. So I got Georgia going in at 1. I think I got Michigan going in at 2. And then at 3, I have Oregon beating Washington. Here's the thing, though. This all changes if Oregon State ends up shocking the world and ends up dropping Bo Nix off. But here's what I also say, though. I think that Oregon goes to the Final Four at 3, and I think Ohio State can stay at 4. Now, isn't Oregon ranked 6? A lot of people are going to say, why do you have Oregon going if they're ranked 6? I'm going to explain why right now. Washington right now is ranked 4. So they're going to have to play Oregon next week. I'm going to say this. I don't see Washington beating Oregon again. Why? Because I saw the game personally live, the whole game. And Oregon had so many chances to beat Washington that game. But what did Washington do? Or not Washington. What did Oregon do? They went forward on 4th down 3 times in their own red zone instead of kicking the field goal, taking the points. And they end up losing by 3. You kick a field goal 1 or 2 of those times, you win the game. And I feel like Lanning isn't going to be as aggressive as he was against Washington. And I feel like the only reason why he was so aggressive like that in the first place is because he did that against Colorado. Like, I watched the Colorado-Oregon game, and every 4th down, they're fake punts and going for it on 4th and 4, and they was doing all of that. So I feel like they was like, we're on a momentum. Let's just go for it on 4th down every time, and Washington wasn't going for that. Honestly, I think Washington should have lost that game. I think Oregon's a better team. I don't think Bo Nix is better than Michael Penix, but I think Oregon's a better team than Washington. So next week on Pac-12 Championship Weekend, I think that Oregon actually beats Washington, goes to the Final Four, and then at 4 is going to be Ohio State. And then that's going to be the Final Four bracket. Now, if Ohio State somehow, which is to me, upsets Michigan tomorrow, I think that here's how the Final Four would go. Hold on, let me undo ready up. It's like gonna be Leatherface. Here's how the Final Four would go. It would go Georgia. It would go Ohio State. I think Michigan would kicked out for Oregon, and I think Texas would jump to 4. Now, here's why I got Texas jumping at 4, even though they're at 7 right now. You would have Oregon kicking out Washington, and then I think Louisville kicks out Florida State. Florida State right now is ranked 5 in the nation. Oregon's going to jump from 6 to 4. You could, but here's the thing that a lot of people are going to say: how far do you think Michigan would drop? And honestly, if they're ranked 3 in the nation, I don't think that they should drop 1 spot if they lose a game. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are going to be like, they lost 1 game just like Texas did, but Texas lost earlier in the season. And I feel like you doing this back-to-back stuff where if a team loses and they drop 1 spot back-to-back years, I feel like people aren't going to like that. And I feel like that's not fair to like Texas, who's waiting for this game to happen. And if they win out, I feel like they should get the opportunity to play in the Final Four. But Texas also win too. Don't get it twisted. They got to beat Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's the only team that beat them. Like, Oklahoma's the only team that beat them this year, and that's who they got to beat to get to the Final Four. And I think that Texas will do it because they know that a Final Four is like waiting for them. So here's where I would say like this. I think Louisville beats Florida State because they don't have Jordan Travis. It sucks. I know. I would have had Florida State going to the Final Four if Jordan Travis. Actually, no, because I still didn't think Florida State would go to the Final Four because they had so many close games. Like, they had a close game with Duke, close game with Clemson. Never mind. I don't think that they would have went anyway. So I have Louisville kicking out Florida State. Whoever wins this weekend is obviously going to beat Iowa in the Big Ten Championship. I'm not worried about that. So, like, Ohio State, Michigan, they're not losing to Iowa next week. One of those 2 teams is going to play Iowa, so that's how that's going to be. I have Oregon beating Washington. So, Georgia, Oregon, Michigan, and maybe Ohio State is going to be my Final Four. That sounds like my Final Four. But if Michigan somehow loses tomorrow, it's going to be Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon, Texas. Now, Texas does have to beat OU. Washington is going to have to lose to Oregon next week. And Michigan, it all depends on how the playoff committee feels about Michigan. That's all it feels. And depending on how that game goes. But honestly, I don't see how they lose tomorrow, if I'm being dead honest. I really don't. But yeah, I'm going to be dropping more videos throughout the weeks as weeks go on. I got NFL playoff predictions, NFC South predictions. I have Caleb Williams. Do I think that... Oh, hold on. This person got up. Do I think Caleb Williams is a top 25 quarterback in college football? Do I think that the Cardinals and Bears should just stay where they're at instead of trying to trade away for Caleb or Drake May? There's going to be so much stuff dropping on this channel, bro. Trust me. We going to get active, dog. We going to get active. But thank y'all for tuning in, man. 2 times out of here. Peace.